daughter, Katie, a very happy birthday. She turns 12 this week. We had
Happy birthday, Katie.
Thank you, Ken. We had the big bowling party today.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I bowled for the first time in like 20 years and didn't break my wrist, so we're all good. I bowled a few strikes today. It was fun.
There you go.
And Abby loved it. Daughter Abby, hello to Abby too. And I think Suzanne and the girls are both listening. So happy birthday, Katie. We're going to celebrate all week long, I'm pretty sure. So
the Katie week.
Exactly, the Katie week. So of course we should. Without further ado, let's talk to State Representative Hannah Kelly. Hannah hails from the south central portion of the great state of Missouri. And Representative, good evening and welcome to the Tim Jones Show.
Good evening. Thanks for having me on, Tim.
Absolutely. Now, Hannah, you, I can't call you a true freshman representative anymore because you have successfully completed your first legislative session in Jeff City. Tell me first, how was that experience?
It was absolutely amazing. Just incredible. I think we could talk all night about that alone. Just that, the things that we dealt with this session and getting ready to work through, and a lot of key issues that folks have been working on for many years. To get to come in on my first term, on my first session, and be a part of that was pretty incredible.
Now, Hannah, you're a little bit outside the St. Louis region area, but you're not too far from St. Louis. Tell the folks a little bit about your background. Why the heck did you run for state representative?
I've been in real estate for about 10 years, and just also born and raised on a farm. Know agriculture very well. It's a very huge part of my life. Seeing the regulations that my friends and neighbors were having to deal with every day. And the seat opened, and I was asked to consider it. And after some prayer, I decided that I couldn't say no because, as the saying goes, if not you, then who's going to do it, And so won by 45 votes, and here I am.
Won by 45 votes. Fantastic. Well, you definitely carry out the old saying that every vote counts, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, wonderful.
Absolutely.
Well, Hannah, you had a regular session. You've had a special session, and my understanding is that the Senate will be heading back to Jefferson City on Monday to begin the second special session. So my understanding is that this is going to be a session focused on two main issues that the governor put in his call, and that's this issue regarding St. Louis, the city of St. Louis declaring itself, I believe, the first abortion sanctuary city in the country.
In the country,
right? And then the second issue was a bill that I voted on back in 2009 that became law, which was simply stated that abortion facilities, clinics have to live by the same standards as any other outpatient ambulatory surgical center. Do I have that basically right?
Yes, you do.
And a judge threw that out, right, recently?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So, Hannah, tell me, what's your opinion on going back into session right now and your thoughts on tackling these two issues?
Tim, I can't wait to get back to work. Matter of fact, I've kind of cleared my schedule this afternoon and visiting with you, and then I'm going to pack my bags to head back because every day in our nation, babies are killed through abortion. And here in the state of Missouri, we dub ourselves the Show Me State, and we've always been a leader in pro-life issues. And anytime that I personally refer to it as judges legislating from the bench, that can't happen. We can't allow that to go on. And we need to make sure that we're promoting a culture of life. And this is a direct attack on life and on the value and integrity of life, not to mention a direct attack on constitutional freedoms by individuals such as realtors, brokers, specifically mentioned in both ends of both the St. Louis legislation, that we're looking at here, that is the whole reason why we have to go back. It's just an attack on all things good, as my grandpa would put it, and we need to put a stop to it.
Because basically, Hannah, let me address one thing first. If folks can't tell, I personally know you as well, and you are a woman. You're a lady legislator, And if you listen to the folks solely on the left on this issue, and mainly the far left, because the country, I think, over the last few years, the statistics are bearing out that, especially as regards late-term abortions, people are generally being more and more pro-life because of things like 4D ultrasounds and all the advancements in science. But if you listen to the far left, they turn this issue into a talking point of women's health care, and they say that the Republicans are evil for interfering with women's health care because they're all just a bunch of old white guys. And what do they know about women's health care? Well, I'm hearing you say, well, I'm a woman, and this is about health care, but you have a very different view on why it's important to do these things for women's health care.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was just looking at some studies not over an hour ago about how cancer has been linked back to induced abortions. We could talk all evening long about that, about the studies that we find that directly affect these women both physically and mentally. I personally visited with many moms who have suffered from making the choice to have an abortion and struggled with that their entire lives, and now invest their lives in telling other moms, don't do it. You have options. You have hope because of the pregnancy care centers, because of the faith-based organizations that work with moms to help them build a strong future for their kids.
Anna, back to the first issue we discussed with St. Louis City declaring itself an abortion sanctuary city, which is commonly what we're referring to it as. My understanding is, first of all, that is this the first city in the country that's passed an ordinance like this?
Best I can tell from all the research that I've done, as well as everything, even Governor Huckabee, who was in for the rally a couple days ago, he was saying the same thing. He said this is the first in the nation to see happen, and the actions that we'll take in special session here will hopefully be groundbreaking policy to set it right.
And Hannah, isn't the danger of an ordinance like this something that we've seen in other areas around the country on other issues like this, where the left is basically trying to use the tool of government to tell people what they can think and how they can act and what they can do and what they cannot do in the workplace, in a public setting. And so basically this ordinance could punish people for exercising their religious conscience rights.
Exactly. And that to me is one of my biggest frustrations with what's happening in St. Louis right now is, everybody, as you said, likes to use terms against those of us who stand on the conservative end of things. And I've heard often, well, you're just going against local control. No, government overreach is government overreach, no matter where it's at. And I believe it's our job in the legislature to safeguard the constitutional freedoms of our citizens at any point in time, anywhere in the state of Missouri.
And Hannah, on the second issue, which we'll wrap up on, the second issue that I saw in Governor Greitens' call last week to call you all back and do this special session, dealt with what I mentioned earlier, this 2009 law, I believe, that a local that a U.S. District Court judge that it encompasses part of Missouri, the Eastern District of Missouri, I believe, is where it came from. He overturned this law, and what this law, I think, in a simple form, said, if you're going to have an abortion facility, you have to keep that facility up to the same standards as any other outpatient ambulatory surgical center. So that deals directly with health of a person, right, especially a woman. What's your position on that?
I think that law should have been left alone. Because how dare we say that the same requirements that we demand in our hospitals wouldn't be required in what is obviously a procedure happening that ends a child's life, and any other, no matter what kind of building it's located in or where it's at. I mean, we've got to have the medical help available for these individuals.
Well, Hannah, thank you very much for chiming in on all of this. Hey, I know you are not only are a great woman legislator. I think are you technically in the millennial generation or?
Technically, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. So
I've been accused of being an old soul, but technically, yeah.
Well, that means you're very, because I mentioned that because you're one of the folks that uses social media pretty actively.
Uh-huh.
So where can folks find you in the social media world if they want to get in touch with you or follow you?
I would love for them to follow me on Twitter at Hannah Kelly Missouri, at Hannah Kelly MO. or on Facebook under Hannah Kelly. I'm just very passionate about pro-life, family, business issues, and as I said, keeping government overreach out of people's daily lives.
Oh, wonderful. Hannah, well, you're one of those bright, energetic, new generations of leaders in the state of Missouri. You know, recruiting is so important in a state like us with term limits, so I'm happy you're there. Good luck over the next couple weeks. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Tim.
Absolutely. Bye. That was Representative Hannah Kelly here on the Tim Jones Show. Hey, keep it right here. We've got Christina Twitty coming up next. Going to give us a little more national view on this topic. She's the founder of Alliance of Life Advocates. We'll talk to Christina next here on the Tim Jones Show at FM News Talk 97.1. Have a great evening, and you'll keep it right here. Yes, you will. FM News Talk 97.1.
This is the Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1, 98.7 and AM 1490, or streaming live at 971talk.com and the 97.1 mobile app.
Hey guys, it's Glover and